Well, good morning, y'all. This is January 24th in cold and windy and snowy Kansas. So let me just set the stage for this video a little bit of what's happening with freelance duck hunting. Golden is headed out to JUCO to take a course. I think it's a 2-year course in wind generating mechanics, and he's wanting to go that route. He was working on an engineering degree, but he's just decided he'd rather crawl around on wind generators. So that's what Golden's doing. His first day out in his new place where he lives, shot his limit in ducks and a couple of geese. So leave it to Golden. He's always on the birds. We have one more weekend here of duck season, and with Golden gone, and it's going to be too cold for me. Elliot's going to be trying to figure out what he's doing this last weekend. He may go down the river or to Corns Pond or something like that. So that's what we're setting the stage on. But today, I thought I would talk to you about God and the glory of His creation and some consequences of who He is and what He has done. So here we go. You know that we often are referring to the beauty and complexity of God's creation. And I thought this morning I would start out emphasizing that. And only I would share with you just a few verses in the Bible which demonstrate what we're talking about. In Genesis 1:1, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." In Psalms 19:1, it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands." And really, in our own words, that's what we're saying. And the Bible, it just backs us up on this, that that's what creation is all about. It is created by God, and it shows God's glory. Then one more verse comes from Romans 1:20. It says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature has been clearly seen." So the last verse is Romans 1:20. It says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature has been clearly shown." So this is what we're saying. We're saying that when we go out hunting, go out into nature, go out into God's creation, what do we see? We're seeing something beautiful and complex and wonderful. I think you all agree with me on that. But that should lead us to saying, who, why, where? And the answer is God. The Bible's answer is God. He created everything, and He created all this little submicroscopic and microscopic and macroscopic and all the big animals and plants and trees, all the beauty, and He created the beauty that we see and enjoy and love. So, what should we conclude? Heavens declare the glory of God. That's why. And so He has put in us a knowledge of who He is and that He is and what He has done. And we thank God for that. And so what else does this show us? Well, when we look at creation, what do we see? Do we see something that is just random and has no meaning and no purpose and has no plan? No, what we find is that the universe is extremely complex and organized. It is organized by an organized mind, a mind that has purpose and has put meaning in it. And so what does that tell us? It tells us not only does God create, but He creates beautiful things. He creates the universe in such a way that it can support life. And He creates things that we don't even know about just by the joy of creation. So we find so what we're learning from this, if we take one more step, is that God is intelligent, He is conscious, that He has a plan, and He has done all. If you look at my video on fine-tuning of the universe, it just shows that the universe has so many factors that if one of them was just turned down just a little bit, you wouldn't even have life in the universe. It wouldn't be possible in the universe. The universe, in some cases, would collapse on itself, would never develop into planets with living things. This universe and what we see of it shows us, again, the creativity, the beauty, the plan, the intelligence, the consciousness of God. And if He is conscious, we say, well, does He care? Does He care? Well, if we read the Bible, and how else are we going to know detail about God without going to the Bible and seeing what God says about Himself? He says that He loves His creation, that He loves man, that He has created man, and not only that, but He wants to know us. He wants us to know Him. That's the next step in which follows logically from the fact of what we see in creation. In fact, the Bible is a story of God relating to mankind and trying to develop a relationship with Him. In fact, in Romans, and I won't give you the reference here, but in Romans it says that His Spirit loves us. His Spirit has forgiven us. His Spirit wants a relationship with us. And in fact, it says that He has adopted us. There's no need for us to live in fear in this world, in this life, fear and anxiety, because the Creator of the universe loves us. If we accept His offer to be His child, He will adopt us as His child, and He will complete in us the process of growing closer to Him. So today I just wanted to make it crystal clear where it leads us when we start with appreciating God's creation and what He has done. It leads us to knowing that He loves us, that He has made us, and that He wants to adopt us as His child, as His children. And so, what's the next step? The next step is realizing that we want to know Him, realizing that He wants to know us, and realizing, though, that we have rebelled against Him just by the fact that we have ignored the fact that He has worked in creation and worked in history to love us and to draw us closer to Him, just by saying, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I don't want any God. I don't need any God. I disagree with what He has done here on earth. This is a lousy place, and I don't want to know Him. That attitude pushes Him away. And so, but He is offered forgiveness for our rebellion. And so we go back to, we are loved by God. We are broken by our rebelliousness and sin. But we can see in creation His love for us. And if we respond to that love and believe in Him and ask Him to help us love Him and love others, then He will adopt us as His children. He will guide and direct us, and He will follow us and help us through our whole lives. This is partly what I was saying with my explanation recently about my diseases and everything, that God is still directing my life step by step, and He wants to direct your life. And so I just wanted to make it really crystal clear that what logically the love for nature that you have, if you follow that love, you will find yourself loving God, and you will find Him loving you. And this is what I I encourage you to do is to say, God, if you're there, if you exist, and I sure looks like you do because of what you've made, then would you just guide me to a relationship with you, to a loving, personal father-son, father-daughter relationship. And he will guide you, and he will do that. And for more details on starting a relationship with him, I have another video which is one of my original ones. It's like the second video on the Bible. I think it's entitled More About the Bible. And that talks about how we start a relationship and maintain a relationship with God. And I will actually give you some more, I'll have some more videos coming that follow up on developing and encouraging this relationship with God, the Creator, the Maker of the universe, the powerful and glorious God that loves you and wants a relationship with you. All right, thank you for visiting me today, and we'll just see you later.